Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jonathan with the Rideshare Panel, and today we're going to talk about 10 things that you absolutely need to know before you drive for Lyft or Uber in 2019. And so the first thing you're going to want to know is whether or not you should be driving for both at the same time. And the answer to that question really depends on which market you drive in. So if you drive in a really busy market like San Francisco, you might actually be better off just driving and using one app at a time. But if you drive in a less saturated market, then you might be better off using both apps simultaneously. So if you're going to use both apps at the same time, you're going to want to keep both apps open, and then as soon as you receive a ride request through one app, you're going to immediately want to close out of the other app. So you can do this by double tapping on your home button and then kind of swiping up and force closing that other app, and that way you're not going to get penalized for missing a ride request on the other app while you're in a ride request currently on one app. If you're using Android, also try using the Maestro App to help manage both apps at the same time. If you're in a really busy market, then you'll probably actually get enough demand just using one app at a time. And this also allows you to take advantage of bonuses like the streak bonus from Lyft. A streak bonus gives you additional incentive to give multiple rides in a row on the same platform. Before you sign up to drive, you want to make sure that you use a referral code when you sign up. Amounts vary by city and can be anywhere from $0 in some cities to up to $1,500 on a signing bonus in certain cities. Now, you need to make sure that you're referred by an active driver and that you complete a certain amount of trips within the given period of days once you sign up to drive. You need to have rideshare insurance if you're going to drive for Lyft and Uber. In period 1, when you're waiting for a ride request, the Lyft and Uber insurance won't actually cover you if you get in an accident during this time period. And your personal insurance isn't likely to cover you during that period either. As a matter of fact, you might even get dropped from your personal insurance if they find out that you were driving for Lyft and Uber on standard insurance. The good news is that in 2008, most big insurance companies began offering their own variety of commercial insurance for rideshare drivers. So it's actually really easy to get a plan these days. As a rideshare driver, you are not an employee, you're an independent contractor. That means that at the end of the year, you get a 1099 and you're expected to pay taxes on all the earnings that you made throughout the year. To keep track of your earnings or expenses, you can get a separate bank account or credit card just for rideshare. You can also use QuickBooks Self-Employed to track everything. When it comes time to pay your taxes, you should know that the standard deduction per mile as a rideshare driver is 54.5 cents in 2018. And most tax professionals actually recommend taking the standard deduction over expensing your vehicle. At the end of the year, Lyft and Uber will provide you with tax documentation that gives you your gross earnings under each platform, the fees assessed in the app, and the total hours in driver mode. Now you can multiply the total hours in driver mode by the standard mileage deduction and easily find your car expenses. You'll also want to keep track of any other ordinary expenses, such as a car mount for driving, bottled water for passengers, and car washes that you might need. Keep your car clean and well maintained. Both Lyft and Uber allow for tips, and a clean car is a huge way to increase your tips. It also keeps your ratings up, which are important for staying on the platform. I'm going to provide a link below that gives the vehicle requirements for driving for both Lyft and Uber. Don't chase prime time and surge pricing. These fluctuate quickly, and you don't want to waste time driving, when instead you should just be knowing your city and the times and places that are most likely to have high demand. In the Lyft app, you can also check the earning tab for an estimated demand for the given week. Don't invest too much up front. Lyft and Uber can be a great way to leverage your vehicle and make some extra money on the side, but it might not be smart to go out and buy a new vehicle just to start driving for Lyft and Uber. Think very carefully about leasing a car for Lyft or Uber. In the on-demand economy, prices and rates can change quickly, and a lease kind of pins you down to driving for a certain amount of time. Renting a car to drive for Lyft or Uber may not be a bad idea depending on what market you're in. Do your research before renting to drive. With the Lyft Express Drive program, renting a car through Lyft becomes very cheap if you give a certain amount of rides during any given week, but make sure that you have enough demand in your area that you can actually hit that number of ride requests. Verify that you have the right passenger by asking them their name and making sure that they look like the photo in your app. You don't want to waste time giving away free rides. If a ride request is far away, you should accept that ride request and then call the passenger immediately. Let them know how far away you are and how long it's going to take you to get there. That puts the onus on them to cancel the ride, and that way you don't get charged for a cancellation fee if you don't want to drive that far. Approach this as a part-time gig and not as a full-time workload. Working 40 to 50 hours a week as a rideshare driver can really get you burnt out. And one of the biggest pluses of the on-demand economy is the flexibility. So why not take advantage of that, make some part-time cash, and enjoy doing it by picking the best hours to work and making the most money during those hours.